Hello children, welcome to AKN Sprint Education. Myself Naveen, and in this video we will discuss about hydrocarbons. Actually, what do you mean by hydrocarbon? A compound made up of hydrogen and carbon only. A compound made up of hydrogen and carbon is called hydrocarbon. Okay, for example, CH4. So nothing but methane. This is the compound made up of carbon and hydrogen. So what is this? This is called as methane. Coming to second one, ethane, C2H6. This is called as ethene. So this is also made up of compound carbon and hydrogen. Also we have ethane. We name it as C2H2. They all are hydrocarbons because they are made up of only two elements, that is carbon and hydrogen, right? The most important natural source of hydrocarbons is petroleum. Petroleum is the most important natural source of hydrocarbon. Now let us discuss about types of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are of two types. The first one is saturated hydrocarbon and second one is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Now, what do you mean by saturated hydrocarbons? A hydrocarbon in which the carbon atoms are connected by only single bond is called a saturated hydrocarbon. What do you mean by saturated hydrocarbon? A hydrocarbon in which carbon atoms are connected by only single bonds is called a saturated hydrocarbon. You know, saturated hydrocarbons are also called as alkanes. Saturated hydrocarbons are also called as alkanes. An alkane is a hydrocarbon in which the carbon atoms are connected by only single covalent bonds, right? There are no double bond or triple bond in alkane, right? The names of saturated hydrocarbons end with ane. Names of saturated hydrocarbons ends with ane. Suppose methane, see it is ending with ane. Ethane, it is ending with ane. Propane, it is ending with ane. Butane, it is ending with ane, right? So methane, ethane, propane and butane are saturated hydrocarbons. These all are saturated hydrocarbons, right? Now, what is the general formula of saturated hydrocarbons or alkanes? The general formula of saturated hydrocarbons is CnH2n plus 2. This is the general formula of saturated hydrocarbons, where N is number of carbon atoms in one molecule of alkane. What is N here? N is nothing but number of carbon atoms. Number of carbon atoms, right? Suppose if N is equal to 1, if N equal to 1, then I can write as C1H2 into 1 plus 2. I mean C1H2 1 is 2 plus 2. C 1 is nothing but C only, H 2 plus 2 4. So what we got? We got CH4. So that is called methane. CH4, right? Suppose if N equal to 2, if N value 2, what is the general formula? CnH2n plus 2, N value 2, C2H 2 into 2 plus 2 C2H 2 to the 4 plus 2 C2H6, right? This is the general formula of ethane, C2H6. Suppose if n equal to 3, if n value 3, then our general formula is CnH2n plus 2, right? C3H2 into 3 plus 2 C3H 2 3 is 6, 6 plus 2 8. So this is the general formula of propane, C3H8. Next, if n equal to 4, if n value is 4, C4H2 into 4 plus 2 C4H 2 4 is 8 plus 2 10 C4H10. This is the general formula of butane, C4H10. So this is about saturated hydrocarbons. What do you mean by saturated hydrocarbon? A hydrocarbon in which carbon atoms are connected by only single bond is called saturated hydrocarbon. Actually, what do you mean by single bond? So here the general formula of methane is, as methane is CH4, right? Okay, so let us draw structural formula of CH4. We have one carbon atom and we have 4 hydrogen carbon atom. This is 1 2 3 4, right? Actually, you know what is the atomic number of carbon? As the atomic number of carbon is 6. In first shell it has 2 electrons, whereas in outermost shell it has 4 electrons, because here 2 and this is 4, total 6 electrons. I mean valency of carbon is 4, right? 1 2 3 4. Now coming to hydrogen, what is the atomic number of hydrogen? 1. I mean it has only 1 electron in its outermost shell. So this is 1 electron, this is 1 electron, this is 1 electron, this is 1 electron of hydrogen. So these 2 electrons will be utilized by this hydrogen atom, as well as this electron it is utilized by this hydrogen atom, as well as this, as well as this. So they are maintaining single bond between carbon and I can draw here carbon, single bond hydrogen, single bond hydrogen, single bond hydrogen, single bond hydrogen. And the second one is ethane. What is the structural formula of ethane? As it has 2 carbon atoms, 1 and 2, total we have 6 hydrogen atoms, 1 2 3 4 5 6. See, in which carbon atoms are connected by only single bond. You can observe here carbon carbon single bond, carbon hydrogen single bond, carbon hydrogen single bond, carbon hydrogen single bond. Here also carbon is separated by single bond, carbon hydrogen single bond, carbon hydrogen single bond, carbon hydrogen single bond. This is ethane. Next one, propane. We have 3 carbon atoms, 1 then here 2 3 carbon atoms. We have total 8 hydrogen atoms, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. See, carbon atom are connected by only single bond. Here also only single bond, here also only single bond. This is the structural formula of propane. Now coming to butane, total we have 4 carbon atoms, 1 2 3 4. We have 10 hydrogens, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. See, carbon atoms are connected by only single bond, so they are called as saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are also called as alkenes. Okay, it ends with ane and the general formula of alkane is CnH2n plus 2. Clear? Now coming to unsaturated hydrocarbons. A hydrocarbon in which two carbon atoms are connected by a double bond or a triple bond is called as unsaturated hydrocarbons. Okay, what do you mean by unsaturated hydrocarbons? So they are generally connected by a double bond or a triple bond is called unsaturated hydrocarbons. Example, ethene. Okay, so that is H2C double bond CH2. So they are connected by double bond here. This is called double bond. One bond, two bonds. This is double bond. Next, ethine. Ine. See, this is ene and this is ine. So for example, HC triple bond CH. Right? So ethene are two important unsaturated hydrocarbons because ethene contains a double bond. Here it is called double bond, and ethine consists of, this is triple bond. A double bond is formed by sharing two pairs of electrons between the two carbon atoms. You can see here a double bond is formed by sharing two pair of electrons. I can draw the structural formula. Carbon, we have two carbons. Here carbon atoms sharing two pair of electrons. This is one, this is one. This is one pair, this is one pair. Sharing two pair of carbon atoms, sharing two pair of electrons between two carbon atoms. Okay, and totally we have 4 hydrogens, 1, 2, 3 and then 4. You can see here carbon, there's double bond and here single bond. Now coming to triple bond, whereas triple bond is formed by sharing 3 electron pairs between two carbon atoms. Sharing 3, this is 1, 2, 3. Sharing of 3 electron pairs. This is one pair, this is second pair, this is third pair between two carbon atoms. Okay, so here we have one hydrogen and here we have one hydrogen. This is the structural formula of ethine. Okay, now unsaturated hydrocarbons, again there are two types. Unsaturated hydrocarbons, there are of two types. The first one is alkenes and second one is alkynes. Okay, an unsaturated hydrocarbon in which the two carbon atoms are connected by a double bond is called alkene. What do you mean by alkene? Which is an unsaturated hydrocarbon in which two carbon atoms are connected by a double bond. Two carbon atoms are connected by a double bond is called an alkene. Thus, alkenes contains a double bond between two carbon atoms which is formed by the sharing of two electron pairs. That is, an alkane contains carbon, double bond, carbon, contains this group. So examples of alkenes: ethene, propene are two alkene because they contain double bond between the two carbon atoms. Since an alkane has a double bond between two carbon atoms, right? That is about alkenes. Now, what is the general formula of alkene? As the general formula of alkene is CnH2n. This is the general formula of alkene. Okay, where n is the number of carbon atoms in its one molecule. So, if n equal to 2, see 2 H2 into 2, see 2 H2 to the 4, right? So C2H4, right? Suppose if n equal to 3, C 3 H2 into 3, C 3 H2 3 is 6, right? So The common name of ethene is, we can also call it as ethylene. So this is ethene and this is propene. If I take n value 4, see 4 H2 into 4, see H8. So this is called as butene. Okay. So what is the general formula of alkenes? This is our general formula, CN H2N. Now coming to alkynes, an unsaturated hydrocarbon in which two carbon atoms are connected by a triple bond is called an alkyne. An unsaturated hydrocarbon in which two carbon atoms are connected by a triple bond is called alkyne. Right? Thus, alkynes contain a triple bond between two carbon atoms. This is one carbon, triple bond. Between two carbon atoms, we have a triple bond. That is, an alkyne contains carbon, triple bond, carbon group. Okay. Example is ethane. Right? Ethane is an unsaturated hydrocarbon in which two carbon atoms contain triple bond. What is the general formula of alkyne? General formula of alkyne is CnH2n-2. This is the general formula of alkyne, CnH2n-2. Suppose if n equal to 2, see 2 H2 into 2 minus 2, C2 H2 to the 4 minus 2, C2 H2. So this is called as ethane. Ethane. Suppose if n equal to 3, C3 H2 into 3 minus 2, C3 H2 3 is 6 minus 2, C3 H4. This is called as propyne, PROPYNE. Right? Suppose if n value 4, if n equal to 4, C4 H2 into 4 minus 2, C4 to 4 is 8 minus 2, C4 H6. This is called as butane. Okay. So ethane, propyne, butane, they are the unsaturated hydrocarbons which contains triple bond between the two carbon atoms. Okay children, this is about hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons, what do you mean by hydrocarbon? A compound made up of hydrogen and carbon is called as hydrocarbon, right? Example, methane, ethane, propane, ethane, they are the hydrocarbons because they are made up of only two elements, carbon and hydrogen. They are of two types. First one is saturated hydrocarbon, second one is unsaturated hydrocarbon. What do you mean by saturated hydrocarbon? In which carbon atoms are connected by only single bond, that is called as saturated hydrocarbons. Okay. Saturated hydrocarbons are also called as alkanes. The general formula of alkane is CnH2n+2. Right? Now, what do you mean by unsaturated hydrocarbon? They are in which carbon atoms are connected by either double bond or triple bond. Again, unsaturated hydrocarbons are of two types. The first one is alkane, second one is alkynes. Alkanes means carbon atoms are connected by only alkanes. Carbon atoms are connected by only double bond. Whereas alkynes, they are connected by a triple bond. Okay, this is about hydrocarbon children. I hope you understood this topic clearly. You try to solve more problems so that you will understand the topic. Thank you children.